Hi everyone, I'm Meteorologist Rusty McCranie, and welcome to Weather Express. Your weather in 5 minutes. Start the clock. Friends, we've got a large, impactful storm moving along the west coast right now. We'll get into that in just a second, but I do want to start the video with what's happening in the southern plains, in Texas in particular, because this is just the beginning of what's going to be our severe weather outbreak for the central and the eastern United States in the coming days. This line of showers is just ramping up as it moves east of Dallas through eastern Texas. You see temperatures right now, they're warm, 80s, even some upper 80s to near 90 degrees down towards San Antonio. We do have a few warnings to talk about. The yellow polygons that you see, those are special weather statements. The red polygons are going to be severe thunderstorm warnings. So thankfully, no tornadic activity so far as this line has crossed I-45. But again, we're just beginning to ramp up, and all modes of severe weather are possible out of this in the next 12 hours or so. When we look at the watches that are currently into play, you're going to see this area in red. That is a severe thunderstorm watch. It does go into Louisiana and southwest sides of Arkansas. As this system moves east, obviously they'll cut off that severe thunderstorm watch from west to east. But the Storm Prediction Center even has our slight risk of severe storms a little bit further north than where they're developing right now. Southeast sides of Oklahoma towards McAllister, and then all the way up towards Fort Smith, Arkansas. And again, this active weather moves east over the coming days. I'll have more on that in just a second. But let's talk about what's happening now along the west coast. This system is kind of coming on in two chunks. You've got this mid-level low moving on shore right now near Washington State, and there is just widespread rain. There's a little bit of mountain snow right now for the Olympics and the Cascades, but this is just a large, impactful storm. I mean, there's a lot of active weather for Washington State and Oregon, moving into Idaho and eventually Big Sky Country as well. That's kind of piece number one. But piece number two, a stronger low-level low, is moving on shore right now into California. It brought the flooding in Southern California along the coast yesterday. We highlighted that in yesterday's video. And just look at all of the wet weather, including a heck of a lot of snow. This is going to be turning into feet of snow for portions of the Sierra Nevadas near the Mammoth Lakes area. They are calling for right now in these winter storm warnings that you see in pink, up to 3 and 4 feet of snow with avalanche warnings. So the Olympic range, the Cascades, Sierra Nevadas, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories. It's going to turn into a heck of a lot of snow near Salt Lake City and the Wasatch Mountains as well, where they, just east of Salt Lake City, could also have feet of snow as well. So it's an unbelievable system, and this low coming out of the Intermountain West is going to amplify the severe weather threat in the plains off to the east. Right now we have all of these red flag warnings, because what you're going to end up seeing here when I bring on the actual wind gusts is we have a lot of wind right now. And by the way, the winds in Oklahoma City could gust up to 70 miles an hour in the next 24 hours. Some unbelievable stuff there. It's been quieter out to the east today so far. We've had some brisk moving snow showers and rain for portions of New York. We're looking pretty good in the southeast right now. Very quiet conditions with temperatures that are in the 70s and the 80s. So let's get into the weather story here. I'm going to break down the models first. We'll start off with that. By the way, I appreciate you guys subscribing to Weather Express and liking this video. Your support is highly appreciated. So let's talk about how this is going to be playing out. Again, look at this massive storm system just barreling on shore. You're actually going to see a couple of different waves coming in. This secondary one is not the one that's going to be spitting out the severe weather. It's the one that we're going to eventually see kind of pull into the plains, and you can see the mountain snow. And again, feet of snow is possible, but eventually as this colder air mass hits the warm moisture-laden air coming out of the Gulf, that's when it starts to go gangbusters. So this little system here is kind of the beginning where we have severe weather today and tomorrow through portions of the southeast, but it's really the tailing, much stronger storm that's going to bring us this severe weather outbreak. So for tomorrow, you can see it is a marginal risk for severe storms in portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the panhandle of Florida. That's not the big one, friends. The big one is what comes behind that. We already have an enhanced risk of severe storms for portions of the Midwest through Arklatex in the Mississippi River Valley. Again, all modes of severe weather, including long track tornadoes, are likely out of this in the coming days. If you live in these areas, you really have to pay attention. That risk of severe storms will then continue to work its way off towards the east, and then it will start to get a little bit farther south as well. So coastal Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, the Panhandle of Florida, Georgia, all likely seeing some severe weather out of that situation. And then one more day out, you're going to see that risk of severe storms pushes to the east coast, but all the way up towards the Jersey coastline, Philadelphia, back down towards Jacksonville, Florida. So a large swath of active weather over the next 5 days. Before I get out of here, I do want to mention the amount of snow out west could be very significant. Anywhere in red is more than a foot of snow. And look how much of the Intermountain West and the Sierra Nevadas all the way up to the Cascades and the Olympic ranges could get more than a foot. Big time active weather. Make sure you stay prepared. Friends, I do appreciate you guys liking the video and subscribing to Weather Express. As you can see, I am completely out of time. I appreciate you. I'm back tomorrow with the latest 5-minute forecast.